Hey there, Jackie. With me, I'm joined by Council President Darius Pridgen. And Councilman, this is your district. When you heard about this, what was going through your head?
Well, it's also my neighborhood. I live a couple blocks away. I shop at this Tops. I had just left the house, didn't know what the presence was until I got the call from our commissioner and our mayor. Turned right around to get back here right at this, as my son was getting ready to do his first play, and I left to be here with this community because I was in shock. You know, I don't think I've felt this type of shock since City Grill, which was a lot different than this, but one of shock and just knowing I needed to be back here in my community.
We just wrapped up with Governor Kathy Hochul. She had really strong language, mentioned quite a few times that this was an act of domestic terrorism by a white supremacist who came here, specifically targeted this area. The fact that someone drove from Broome County to the city of Buffalo, specifically to Buffalo's east side, do you think that says something?
Oh yeah, and I'm glad that the governor did not mince words and just went right to it. This is a hate crime. This is a hate crime, and I'm glad to hear the DA saying it, and that the country is paying attention to this, because this was one individual. You best believe there are others out there just like this, and so it cannot be taken lightly or as if it is a one-time occurrence, because what we're seeing right now across social media is other people supporting this person who committed these crimes as if he should be getting a trophy instead of getting life in prison.
Another thing that you and I were just talking about is the fact that this area is a food desert. There are not many places to get fresh groceries around here. This Tops is one of the few places that people can go on a Saturday afternoon and grocery shop. So the fact that so many people were probably out here when this happened, I feel like that makes it even that much more tragic.
Yeah, this is a gathering spot. It's more than a grocery store. It's a gathering spot. It's a community space. It's where neighbors see each other and wave and talk. And so, you know, you have people just sit out in the parking lot here. So for it to happen here, you know, and our fear is, you know, what we don't want is for the only grocery store in this area. There is no other grocery store. You know, when this, people had to fight to get this grocery store here. And when Tops decided to put it here, we knew that they were taking a business risk, but they did, and they've worked to improve the store. We're afraid of losing the store because of this tragedy, because at the end of the day, where do we go? This person targeted this area.
Can you believe that something like this happened here in Buffalo? I feel like, and I'm speaking for myself here, you go to a store and you hear it on the news and other places, so you kind of have it in the back of your head whenever you go grocery shopping, but you don't really think that it could happen in your own hometown. How are you feeling the fact that it actually happened here?
Well, you know, Buffalo is, you know, we use the word city of good neighbors, and by and large, this neighborhood is a city of good neighbors. So I don't think anybody foresaw this happening in this area. I think if we did, I think if law enforcement did, that there would have been more done. I really hope. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people on social media spewing negativity and hate. And so I think that, you know, people in this community never expected it, so they weren't prepared for it. None of us were prepared that somebody would drive that far to come and to seemingly, and I believe it with all of my heart, and maybe I'm wrong, I'm telling you how I feel now. I believe this person came to this community to kill black people. He could have went to any community. He could have went to the community where he lives if it was just about killing someone. I believe it was a hate crime, racially motivated.
We're already seeing vigils set up for the victims at this point. Any message you have for their families?
You know, right now, and you know, people have asked me as council president, what do you think about different laws? I don't. We got laws on the books right now. This wasn't about laws. This was about an individual who is so evil that he would come and just randomly kill people who did not hurt him. And so my heart right now is with the victims' families. families. Somebody's mother is gone, somebody's son is gone. At the end of the day, that's my focus. This person may he get his justice, but in order for this community to move forward, we have to have time to grieve. So we're in the grieving process now, and when people say, what are you going to do next? Just let us cry first. Let us hurt. Let us go through the pain. And anybody out there who cares about this community, join in that grieving without casting judgment on this community for grieving, and sometime maybe being boldly honest about how hurt we are and how angry. But putting it on a race is just as wrong as when white people say that all black people are bad. If we do the same thing because of this one jerk, then we have now turned the tables. He did it, not the white community.
That brings up a good point, and something that was mentioned earlier during the first news conference is there was concern that this could possibly lead to division in the city of Buffalo. And many people there said that no. I believe that this will make the city of Buffalo stronger. I believe Trini Ross said that. Congressman Higgins said that. Do you believe, are you concerned that this will divide, or do you believe that this will bring everyone closer together?
Right now, I don't know. I hope it doesn't divide further. It wasn't just black people who were shot, although I believe that's what he targeted. And I don't believe that, and this is personal opinion, I don't believe he came in town to shoot anybody who was white. I believe he came to shoot black people. But that's just my opinion. At the end of the day, I hope that this community, I saw it during the protests last year, year before last, of black and white standing together, wanting better policing. And I hope that same love, that same understanding. I received calls not only from black pastors, but white pastors, pastor of the chapel, pastors of the Jewish community. So it's all everybody reaching out, feeling that hurt, and them not wanting this to be the racial divide of Buffalo.
I want to also speak about something that was just brought up as well, the social media aspect. You just mentioned it. Governor Hochul talked about the fact that we now need to start going after these streaming platforms that allow people to do what this suspect did, where he went on a streaming platform, streamed the shooting live. Do you think that is something that needs to now be looked into, and that it is the responsibility of these social media platforms?
I think that right now, as a son of this community, as a pastor in this community, it's a little above my pay grade to worry about social media when my heart is just really crying out for so many people who have lost their lives. I think once we get done with the grieving, then we can figure all that out.
Sure. Anything else you'd like to add? Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. We just heard from Council President Darius Pridgen, who has been on scene throughout this day. There are several people that are still here just, taking in what is going on. We still have the area completely blocked off. As I noted, we did just hear from Governor Kathy Hochul, who did have strong words, who did call the suspect a white supremacist and a domestic terrorist. She also noted that the New York State Hate Crime Task Force is going to be investigating this, along with the FBI, Buffalo Police, New York State troopers. All of the law enforcement agencies have a joint effort in investigating this, so we will be closely monitoring the ongoing investigation. As for now, Don and Jackie, I'm going to send it back to you in the studio.